Hey guys, welcome back to T.F.C. So today we're trying something a little different. I'm actually going to talk while I record. Let me know in the comments after you watch this video whether or not you like me doing the voiceover or talking as I go along on the microphone. Today we're doing smothered pork chops. I know when you see this it's going to be summertime. This was probably a bad time to do this, but I really wanted some chops. I wanted some smothered pork chops and some smothered potatoes. So that's what we're doing today. Chops and potatoes with rice and gravy. Alright, so here's the prep work. I've rinsed off all of these chops. These are center cut chops that I got from Sam's in a previous grocery haul video. I'll link an info card to the grocery haul so you can see what kind of chops I bought. But these have already been rinsed off. You want to make sure you rinse these off because they might have little bone particles on them. As you can see, they have bones. So I'm going to start seasoning these. I got some seasoned salt. And season to your liking. Got some pepper. I add garlic powder. Just a little. And some onion powder. I'm going to season the other side when I put these in our frying pan. So let's get our frying pan heated up and start on that. Alright, so we have our Presto electric skillet here. Not sponsored, but I love this thing. You've probably seen this in almost all of my cooking videos. So handy, so easy to clean up and wash out, and keeps your stove looking nice and pretty. Alright, I have it turned all the way up on high, and I have about 3 tablespoons of canola oil in here heating up. I'm going to grab my chops and put them in with the seasoning side down. So the side you already seasoned, go ahead and put that face down. We're going to take our seasoned salt, garlic powder, and our black pepper. Now mine are kind of thick, but we're not actually cooking these in the skillet. So we just want a nice golden brown color to them before we add them to the oven with our gravy. And that's where we actually end up cooking them the rest of the way. So right now we're just pan frying them to get them to a golden color. I'll be back, and when it's ready I'll flip it over to show you how it's supposed to look. Alright, I think it's time to flip these bad boys. Let's see. That one's pretty good. See that nice color there? That golden brown, that's what we're looking for. That same color on the other side, so let's give that about 10 minutes or so to get golden brown on the other side, and then we'll move on to the next step. Alright, while we're waiting for those to finish browning, let's start on our gravy. I have 3 packets of McCormick brown gravy here. Open these up. I'm going to take 3 cups of cold water and slowly whisk it in to the gravy. 3 cups of gravy should be enough for these pork chops, because the pork chops are still going to give off some more juice. And actually, you know what? I'm going to do 2.5 cups of brown gravy. I'm going to make it a little thicker because, like I said, the pork chops are going to give off their own water. So you don't want your gravy too watery. So I'd suggest instead, if you're doing 3 packets of brown gravy, instead of doing the 1 cup of cold water like they called for each packet, do 2.5 cups of cold water for 3 packets of gravy. Got it? And we're going to set that aside while these pork chops finish cooking. Alright, I think these are done. Yes. Isn't that nice color? Remember, we're not fully cooking these in the pan, guys. We're just getting a little color on them before we put them into the oven to finish cooking the rest of the way. Alright, I'm going to turn off the heat now. We're going to grab our 9x13 baking dish. Alright, I have here a bowl of onions I sliced off camera. I'm going to put a few onions at the bottom of the pan. I'm going to grab a little bit of our gravy and put it at the bottom also. Just a little. Oh, watch it now. Okay, it's a little messy, guys. If you see any bits that are stuck to the bottom, go ahead and scrape those off. Okay. Alright. Let's take our pork chops and put them in the baking dish. Gonna add the remaining onions to the top of the pork chops, like so. This was one onion. If you like more onions, add as many as you like. This is just one I sliced up. And we're gonna pour over the rest of the gravy mix. Next step is where you actually smother the pork chops. So we're gonna put some foil over the pork chops. Make sure it's covered really tight, because you literally want to smother these pork chops. That's how they're gonna fall off the bone tender. It's gonna be so good. Okay, so this is covered up. And now we're going to go ahead and put these in the oven at 350 degrees. Now the pork chops, let me show you again. See, my pork chops are kind of thick. See, they're kind of thick. So depending on how thick your pork chops are, that's going to tell you how long you have to cook yours for. I'm going to check on these in about an hour and a half and see how tender they are, and come back and let you know how those were. So we'll come back in an hour and a half to these and see how they're coming along. Alright, so it just occurred to me, while we're waiting for the pork chops to finish cooking, let's start on our smothered potatoes. Alright, have here some canola. You see that? Canola. It's canola oil. I'm gonna add like 3 tablespoons of canola. And I have this on a medium-high heat. Alright, these are my hash browns I had from another grocery haul that I did recently. So we're going to be using these to make our smothered potatoes. Alright. So, make sure the oil So there we go. Let me grab my seasonings. I have seasoned salt. Don't be stingy with the seasoning, guys. Onion powder. Some pepper. And I diced up off camera some onions. This is one onion roughly diced. It doesn't have to be, you don't want it fine necessarily, or maybe you do. I like mine with little chunks of onions in it. So, I'm gonna just mix that in. And like I said, you want this on high. You're gonna want your smothered potatoes to start getting a nice golden crust on them. So you're gonna kind of fry them, I guess. Right now they're frozen solid, but I'll show you what happens after we put on the lid. I'll put the lid on, and we're gonna check on these in about 7 minutes. Remember, this is on medium-high heat. So we're gonna check on these in 7 minutes, and then I'll show you what to do next. Alright guys, it's been 7 minutes. Let's see what we got. Ooh! See that golden brown color I have going on? That's how you want those to look. You want a golden brown color on them. Glad I caught them when I did. They were about to be burnt. Okay, so let's see if we can try at this point to actually start to break these down. I have a potato masher. You know, for mashed potatoes and stuff like that. So let's try and see if these are soft. Okay, they seem to be softened up. Okay, good. So I'm actually turning this down a little now to like low while I'm smashing these up. So the smothered potatoes are gonna be smashed just like this. You don't want them chunky like the hash browns. You want them mushed. You want them mushy. Learned this recipe from my grandfather. I used to watch him cook all the time. I was so intrigued by cooking. Used to sit on the high chair, watch him cook. He loves smothered potatoes. All right. So as you can see here, see how they kind of look mushed and mashed? Now, when I'm not adding any milk or any liquid to these guys, that's not what smothered potatoes are, or that's not what I consider to be smothered potatoes in my family. There's no liquid to add to these. Now, if you want it to be extra fat, that's what I call it, that's my term, extra fat, you could add some sliced smoked sausage in here, which I've done before. It is so good. Don't sleep on it, guys. Add some sliced smoked sausage to this, and then you can serve it for breakfast. Have it as a replacement for your hash browns. Do some smothered potatoes with smoked sausage instead, with some eggs and grits and a biscuit. Yes, ma'am. All right. So these are pretty smashed. I think I got them all. Let me just take a spoon and do a little more smashing. See how I'm smushing them even further? Now at this point, you want to go ahead and taste these and see if they need any seasonings or anything. Like I said, this is on low heat. I'm going to taste these and see if I need to add anything else. Need a little more seasoned salt. I might add a little more canola. I'm actually going to turn the heat up back to like medium. They're not as soft as I like them, so taste them and see how soft they are for you. I like mine really soft. So I add a little more oil, probably another 2 tablespoons. So I want them to brown a little more, and I want them a little softer. So I'm going to put the lid back on. I'll put this back on medium heat for 7 minutes, and we'll come back with the finished result. Alright guys, so I decided to check on these before the 7 minutes, and I'm glad I did, because they are perfect now. Okay, turn that off. So that was about 4 minutes it actually took to get these more brown. See the color on them now? They look so good. 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 Yes. And that's it for the smothered potatoes. So that didn't take long to make. They're relatively easy. I mean, this could feed a family for sure. It's a nice serving of potatoes here. So I'm gonna go ahead and take these out of the pan and set them aside in a bowl, and we'll wait for our smothered pork chops to finish. But yep, this is how you make smothered potatoes, guys. 1 dish down, 1 to go. We'll be back. Okay guys, it's been about an hour and a half. Let's check on these chops. Ooh, they look so good. Okay, so actually let me try and see if they're tender yet. See, See how they're not really breaking apart? How it's kind of, it's still fighting with me. The pork chop is still fighting with me. I can't cut it with a fork. It's not fork tender. So it still needs some cooking time. But I'm going to spoon some of this gravy over it. And see how the gravy's nice and thick? It's not too watery. That's because we used half a cup less of the water than what the package instructions said. Nobody wants watery gravy, okay? Not me, not I. All right, so these are coming along good. I'm going to check on these in another, I'd say like 45 minutes, and see how they're coming along. See if they're pork tender at that point. All right, so I'm gonna cover these back up another 45 minutes, and I'll be back at that point. 45 minutes, guys. Okay, guys, we're back. All right, so it's been another 45 minutes. Let's see what we got now. Let's see. All right, I'm gonna take a fork. Let's see this piece. Oh, look at how it's just falling apart. Y'all see that? Let me zoom in. Let me zoom in for y'all. Hold on. Alright. See this here? See that? How it's kind of falling apart? How I can break it apart with a fork? That's what you're looking for. Yes. I'm gonna go ahead and try it while I'm at it. Let's see. Ooh, it's hot. Yes, that is good. Sorry. Well, you know. It is good. It's tender. I'd say that took about, what's an hour? So a little more than 2 hours, and a little more than 2 hours to cook these. These are really thick chops though. Now if you have thinner chops, it may not take as long. These are pretty thick, and you know, once again, it's hot outside, guys. It's like 91 degrees today. I don't know why I chose to cook this today. It was burning up in here for a little while. But if you don't mind, you know, turn on your oven during the summer. I know some people don't like to do it, but if you don't mind turning on your oven during the summer, these came out so good. They came out so good. Look at that gravy. So good. So I'm going to plate this up and show you how we're going to eat it, and I'm going to have Mr. T.F.C. try it. But yep, these are done, guys. All right, here's the finished product. Look at that pork chop, so tender. Look at that, so tender. I don't want to mess all in my husband's plate. But look at that, it's pork tender. You got your rice. You got your rice and your gravy. There's some cabbage. You can also do this with oh sorry y'all. You can also do this, instead of cabbage, you can do greens or string beans. Or if you wanted to, you could do a salad since it's summertime. And here are smothered potatoes. Looks so good. Look at that. Yeah. This came out really good, guys. This is a nice, hearty, filling meal. Good for summer, fall, winter, or spring. Let's see what Mr. T.F.C. thinks.
Woo! Today's been a long day. I'm looking forward to this one here. Welcome to T.F.C. Hit subscribe. Hit the button that blings when we put new stuff up, and tell your friend and your neighbor because you care about them. Today we got smothered pork chops and smothered potatoes, Louisiana gravy. Let's take a taste test of it. This is something that you can have made while y'all working, while y'all camping. You can do this anywhere. Let's try it out. So we're gonna hit the potatoes. I'm gonna do it one more time. Man, them potatoes are good, nice and hearty, fill you up. Now me, I'm an onion man. I like the onions with the gravy. Take it all up, That's good. That's good. Make sure you follow this recipe. That's so delicious. You get it. Hit subscribe. Check out the other videos we have on this channel. TFC is where you want to be.